Hi, welcome to What, Series 16 and number 8. And we're continuing to talk about Joseph's experience in the house of Potiphar. Verses 4 to 6 say this. So it's Joseph. Let's start that again, please. Sorry, I was reading Joshua this morning. Hi, welcome to What and Series 16 and number 8. We're continuing to talk about Potiphar and Joseph and their relationship in the household. Verses 4 to 6 says, So Joseph found favour in his sight and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house and all that he had put under his authority. So it was from the time that he made him overseer of his house and all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field. Thus he left all he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was a handsome in form and appearance. Some interesting stuff in here. Notice it says he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had was put under his authority. Because of God's blessing and Joseph's faithfulness, God made sure Joseph was advanced in his position, even as a slave. It would have been easy for Joseph to do what we see so often, think little of his present position because it seemed so bad, because he was a slave after all. But Joseph believed God could bless him right where he was. So he didn't wait for a better situation to be best blessed by God, nor did he wait for a better situation to do the best that he could. The Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. Now that's a loaded statement, isn't it? After the same principle, blessing can be brought upon a workplace because of the presence of godliness. It's a great lesson for us in the places that we work. Thus he left all he had in Joseph's hands. Joseph rose to the top, but it took a while. Joseph was 17 years old, or about that, when he was sold into slavery. He was 30 when Pharaoh promoted him. Joseph later on was in prison for 2 years before his promotion. We'll talk about that in a few weeks. Therefore, Joseph was in Potiphar's house for about 11 years. It took 11 years for the full measure of God's blessing to be accomplished in Joseph's life. 11 years may seem like a long time. Many think if advancement is from God, it will come quickly. I certainly can't assume that. Sometimes this is the case, but normally, no. God works on his own time structure. Normally, God allows things to develop slowly. Human children have the longest development time in both the womb and the children compared to many, many other animals. In the world of plants, it takes many years for an acorn to become an oak tree. A squash might also grow almost overnight. He left all that he had in Joseph's hands, and here's another loaded statement. This means that Joseph was a hard worker. And when he came to Egypt, he was at great disadvantage. He knew nothing of the language, the culture, the customs, or the ways of doing business. He had to get up early and stay up late, both to do his job, but also to learn Egyptian ways. It seems that Joseph must have grown up watching others work. Something happened to him in his crisis, and he accepted God's slow transformative work. God gave Joseph great administrative skill, and now the heart of the hard-working servant was added to that. Luther said, accordingly, Joseph was not only good and chaste, and not only diligently poured out prayers to God for his master, for the king, and for the whole land of Egypt, but he also was a most vigilant overseer and manager of domestic tasks. He had a great reputation for what he did. When we leave all that we have in Jesus' hands, our home and life, we will be blessed. And for Jesus' sake, we need to remember that. The interesting thing is at the end where it says, now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. Joseph's appearance was of special note. The Bible only calls two other men beautiful, and that's David and Absalom. Moses was said to be a beautiful child. We're going to talk about how this impacts on Joseph over the coming weeks. Bless you.